Today is a good day. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the week, and the 49ers kick off their OTAs. Will Brandon Aiyuk potentially hold out? We're going to talk about it, break it down right here on the WayneBreezie Show. Stick around.
So bright that we shine. All we do is the Niners. Ready go, that is fine. So faithful to the bay. I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24-karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 49 preacher. We so bright that we shine it.
What's going on, 49er faithful? What's good, everybody? It's your boy WayneBreezie, and we are back for another WayneBreezie Show, episode 203, with the round of applause. This is the 203rd episode of the WayneBreezie Show. Shout out to everybody out there. Shout out to all the live viewers, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. I appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's listening to us on the podcast. That's right. The Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, hopefully it's there. And if you're not listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you have access to those, go ahead and get it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss out on the episode. But we're at episode 203, which is special to me because that is my area code. I got pros. Hey, pros in different area codes. Hey, little Nate Dogg action going on this morning. Guys, thank you so much again for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. Hit the like button. It may make it sound like this, may not, but there is a bell. You look for the little bell icon, hit that like button, thumbs up, right? And subscribe to the channel if you're new. If it's your first time watching, hit the subscribe button. Also, please help me by becoming a member. All right, I need you guys to become members of the channel. It will help support the channel and create more and more high quality content. And if you are a member, you will be getting an exclusive show for members only. It's called Gritty Talk. That's right, Gritty Talk with your boy Breezy. And it will only be for you guys. All right, it'll only be for you guys. So check that out. We're going to be doing some good things for the members in this upcoming football season, season as it's about to get near, because football is literally starting like today. Like players are voluntarily reporting to camp. So make sure you guys do that. Also, you can listen to it, like I said, on the podcast, on the Spotify, Apple Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe over there as well. Got exclusive stuff that's going to be for those that subscribe to me on X as well. We're going to be doing some exclusive stuff for you guys as well. Instagram, I did my first exclusive show for the subscribers. So if you're not subscribed to Instagram and that's your thing, you like to be on Instagram, you're going to want to go subscribe there as well, because this is an exclusive show and it's all different stuff. I am sorry. But we do shoot the breeze is cool. I did my first episode of Shoot the Breeze. Shout out to Jax, Knox, and Peachy. They were in there. We talked about everything just about under the sun. Shoot the Breeze is where you guys, it's a live Q&A show. You get to ask me whatever it is you want. That's going to be the platform that I'm going to be doing that on. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to me on Instagram. That is at the WayneBreezie. You can subscribe on Threads, TikTok, and Facebook as well. Going to be doing some exclusive stuff for those that, subscribe, right? Subscribers, members, you guys are going to get some exclusive content from your boy Breezy. And speaking of exclusive content, if you like all the film breakdown and analysis and those type of shows, that's where the Patreon comes in. So you're going to want to go over to patreon.com/@WayneBreezie. Go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. That's where I'm going to be putting in some extra hard work and getting some experts on there to help break down the film as we analyze the film for the season. You'll get an exclusive show for the $5 tier, but if you want all the film analysis and breakdowns, that's going to be the $20 tier. So go ahead and check it out, man. I promise you that's That's where all the sports stuff is going to be as far as film analysis right there, exclusive on the Patreon. All right, we got that out the way, man. What a great time to be here. Shout out to the Breezy Bunch crew. Got to show my moderators that are out there some love. Shout out to 49ers_throwback. Thanks for tuning in, faithful. Make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe. Happy Monday. It's OTAs day. You know, I got a question, right? Why don't we capitalize the S in OTAs? It's like O, capital OTA, small s. I write it the same way. I'm just curious to know. There's no apostrophe, anything like that. Like, are we writing it wrong or not? But I just wanted to know if I'm doing something wrong, if we're doing something wrong. Peachy Brown, good morning, Breezy and the faithful 49ers chit chat. Have a good day, everyone. Hashtag BB. Don't forget to put them hashtags out there. My man, Don't Bother Me, is in the building. I don't think B.A. has saved up enough to hold out on his rocking contract. I like what you did there. The deal will get done. I agree with you 100%. Give you the bell for that one, man. I agree. The question is when, and there's some we know. We'll talk about some of those stipulations a little bit later on the episode. All right, Oscar, my brother Oscar's in the building. Love the Fred Warner emoji. That's kind of fire. It looks like a sticker. Like I could just grab it, peel it, stick it, pause. Yeah. Good morning, all. Hashtag BB. Hashtag Mondays are better after football. Interesting. Faithfully in Vegas with the GOAT emojis. Yo, who does your graphics? Because your graphics, Mariah, are on a whole nother level. Like, I'm loving what I'm seeing from you. Like, shoot, you send them my way. So they send my way. I think it's swing my way, but who cares? Whatever, I make up my own words. Cousin Snoop's in the building. What's going on? The lovely Tanisha's in the building. Good morning, Wayne, in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, you guys support. Nick, you slow to the punch today, man. But I love you. Nick, nice, 21. You know what I'm saying? Slow. I should have put my name up there. Ben! Cousin Ben, what's good? Wayne, Peachy, Mariah, throwback. I love that. You guys show love to everybody out there. And so thank y'all for being the early birds, man. I appreciate you guys. You know what I mean? Oscar says OTA is already plural. Correct. Yeah, there it is. But why do we put the S, though? We don't say they're coming to OTA. See what I'm saying? So is it we're just doing a shorter version of the activities and we're just adding the S? Because that shit don't make sense. You know what I mean? You make what you're saying, Oscar, makes the sense. But it's the A is for activities. I was gonna talk about that, but it's funny, right? Okay, makes perfect sense. Activities, it's already plural. Activities is already plural. So I kind of dig that. Now, shout out to the members. Listen, if you're a member of this channel and you got you got a question you want to ask, go ahead and ask the question. Hopefully, if I see it, I'll star it. If I don't see it, you can ask it again. I'll get to the questions, a little Q&A at the end of the show. I promise. I want to definitely do more for those that have took time out and going out their way to subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I still appreciate you. I love you. But I gotta give them that love. Shout out to the Sentinels football channel too out there. Appreciate you. All right, man. Let's get to today's episode. OTAs, ding ding. We on it. OTAs, we are on it. And I'm excited because OTAs began. That means 49ers football is officially like back, right? And here's the updates. Here's the dates and the updates and stuff like that. They begin today. So today, tomorrow. Right, it's Monday, Tuesday, May 20th, May 21st. Let me make sure I got my watch right. May 20th. Okay, and then they're off on Wednesday, right, which would be May 22nd. And then they come back on Thursday, which would be May 23rd, right? And then they're off for Memorial Day weekend and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They come back on the 31st, which, if I'm not mistaken, is next Friday. So they get some time off. They get a little time off. Now, we talk about OTAs. We'll talk a little bit, we'll break that down a little bit more, like what that is for those that are new to football, don't understand what the hell OTAs are, what they mean. They're off-season workouts. All right. But the mandatory minicamp, that keyword mandatory, June 4th through June 6th. I'm sure this is per their website too. So if I'm missing any dates, man, listen, I go to 49ers.com and I'm going to start giving credit to where the credit is due. That way y'all don't slay me. I'm just a messenger. This show is all about messaging. All right. So June 4th through June 6th is when the mandatory mini camp kicks off. So what are OTAs? The OTAs are the organized team activities. Per Oscar, he put that in the chat already. And they're voluntary. Okay, they're voluntary, meaning that the young players will probably be there. They want to get a jump start on life. The rookies will definitely be there. Shout out to a successful rookie mini camp too, by the way. Brother Colin in the building all the way from across the pond. What's going on, Brother Colin? Appreciate you, fam. Mariah says she does these herself. That's what's up. You're gonna get a text. So look, OTAs are a good time for players to get together. And they have, they start working on, stuff. Installs have already been done, especially for like the younger players, like the rookies that were at the rookie mini camp. So those installs are done. But now the installs will be done for the players that are going to report to OTAs. Now, here's who you should not expect. The veterans, like Trent Williams, probably Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa trains in Florida. We know that. Brandon Aiyuk, potentially. Debo. I would love to see Debo there if he's in Cali. I would love to see some of the guys there. Not that they need to be there. I just would love to see them there. I would love to see the team just be together. Brock Purdy will be there. I'm pretty much sure that he's in California. We know this for a reason. Probably maybe Kittle probably won't be at, Kittle will probably be at OTAs but may not participate. I think those that are just in California will be there. But we're talking second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. Like some of those type of players are going to be there just getting their offseason workouts going and working out with one another. Start to get on the same page with one another, getting the same program, understand the system, the lingo, all that good stuff. Good off-season workouts for the team. And there are about 21 teams that started today. And so you could do the math. 32 minus 21. So 11 teams haven't started, but the 49ers are one of them. And so, yeah, man, it's going to be good times. So hopefully we get some good footage or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? That'd be dope. I love this hat. This is one of the draft day caps from 2-3. This might be the Trey Lance draft. I say the Trey Lance draft because, he was the first pick. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, check that. It's probably available. I get this hat for $10 right now. Go to 49ers.com. I don't know why I'm giving them love. I have a lids link where I can get, you can save, but I got to. Lids, y'all make me work too hard. I don't know how to create all that crap. Just create it for me. Create the coupon and blah, 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 blah. Shout out to Lids. But yeah, this is, if you can find this joint, so I expect, Purdy definitely to be leading the realm, 7th round draft pick, $800,000 a year. I'm expecting him to be there, and which is good because we already heard that Purdy and Pearsall were already throwing and playing catch and all that good stuff. And you want to see that. Remember when, who was it? That was it Trey Lance and Brandon Aiyuk were making that connection in the offseason. So I'm hoping we're getting the same thing. We already know Purdy and Aiyuk are connected. Purdy and Debo are connected. Purdy and Juwan are connected. Like those are vets now. Like the way I look at it, Juwan Jennings is a vet. Those 3 wide receivers are vets. I would love to see Ronnie Bell, Tay Martin. You know what I'm saying? All those dudes here, the wide receivers. I don't expect to see Christian McCaffrey working out here. But like I said, if he's in town, he'll be there. I have no look. At the end of the day, these players are going to be there. You know what I mean? So, this is a dope comment. I'm gonna read some of my family Sentinels football channel comments too, by the way. Now, he says they don't have to play, but if Brock is a locker room leader, he's showing up. I want the rest of the team to show up. I'm with you. Just show up. You said they don't have to play, they don't have to practice. Like I said, I believe if they're in the state, they'll probably be there. Like, you know what I mean? Like if they're there, they'll probably be there. And here's the explanation. He says building that chemistry with your wide receivers is more important than anything if you're about to pay B.A. $30 million. Can I ask a question? Do you think Brandon Aiyuk, because I said that the chemistry was good. Do you think Brandon Aiyuk and Brock Purdy's chemistry is like lock and key? Is it tight? You know what I mean? Like I feel like here's the vibe I get from Purdy and B.A. Remember Jimmy and Emmanuel Sanders? Remember Jimmy was just like literally just throwing balls to spots, and Emmanuel was just there. The trust was there. It's like, I feel that vibe from Purdy and B.A. A little different with Debo because he's a different type of receiver. You're trying to get the ball into his hands quickly so he can just outrun everybody. But with B.A., the route running, the timing. Now, I'm not saying that they can't work together and get together and whatever. I just feel like that's the vibe I get from those two. How they continue to build chemistry. Well, that, my friend, is the $1 million question. We got some Facebook love. Shout out to my brother Magnus. He says, I don't think Purdy drank any beer at the concert, but Kittle did. Haha. He carried the beer, though. We're going to get to that. Speaking of that, let's get to that because I know everybody wants to talk about the BA situation, which can... it's a possibility that it gets kind of messy, dog. I'm trying to tell you. I think it gets kind of messy. Kylie, what's going on? 49er Media. Also, what's going on, family? I'm just saying. It can get kind of messy. Hey, look, it is what it is. All right. So, the Luke Combs, country singer, Luke Combs had a concert this weekend. And the videos went wild. It was like 49ers going wild. You had Brock Purdy. You had George Kittle building chemistry, sharing a good old Bud Light. I think Bud Light comes in the blue can. I could be wrong. I don't drink beer like that, so I don't know. You know what I mean? But I feel like I got a blue Bud Light in the refrigerator. That shit's been there probably for 2 years because I don't drink beer like that. I got to be like rather mood. Anyway, here's the video footage at the Luke Combs concert. I'm going to make sure I kind of mute the volume. But you can see Kittle and living his best. I told you, listen, Brock might not have took a drinky drink, but he sure is carrying the stanky stank. He carrying them. He got a whole. I knew there was Bud Lights. I knew it. Blue can, Bud Light. I don't know any other can. I remember red can, Budweiser. But they having fun, man. I love fun. I'm all about work, but you got to find a way. This is still the off season. You got to figure out how to have some fun. Both of these guys are probably huge Luke Combs fans, and I'm sure Luke Combs is a diehard 49er fan. They took care of him too, man. This was at Levi Stadium. You know what I mean? They took care of him big time. You know what I mean? And I'm curious to see. I think this was probably a good time. Fun. I want to know if Brock Purdy could play an instrument. I feel like he could play the guitar. I feel like Brock Purdy can play the guitar. I don't know if he has any of those type of skills, but I feel like he's dope enough to figure it out. That's the vibe I get from my quarterback. Like, shout out to our quarterback, Brock Purdy. Shout out to George Kittle, and I'm glad to see that they're bonding. We've seen them bond before. We've seen them bond at games. You know, we've seen them bond. Shout out to my brother Corey. So, Jason, Luke Combs is more than the badass. You know, that dude is dope. I know he plays the bass. The guitars are tight. It's different. Extra strings. Different sound, tonality. Got to use them fingers more. You're playing chords. I ain't talking about plucking the joint. I want to know if he can play. Bingo. But bass, man, listen, I love the bass. It's one of my favorite instruments. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious. He can slap that bass. Pow! But can he, you know what I'm saying? Can he strum? You know what I'm saying, on the guitar? Hopefully I'll get a chance to ask Brock, man. I'm working here. I'm dropping stuff, working here, whatever. But that would be kind of cool. All right, so look, I thought that was a cool thing. It was something cool to watch. And you know what else I want to see? I want to know if I bet you Brock Purdy can sing too. Hey, here's my thing. Brock Purdy's from the church. Usually, if you go to church, you can sing. It's just it happens. Like, you go to church and you just been around it for a long enough time where you just understand you just need to be able to carry your tune, especially if you start in a church that's small. You know what I'm saying? You got to be the one to sing the hymns. Well, you can't sing the hymns out of key, so you get into the key. I bet you Brock Purdy can carry a note. I would have loved to see Brock Purdy grab that mic. I know I'm talking a lot about Brock Purdy. Let me tell you, I love Brock Purdy. I'm glad that, you know, Brock Purdy is overcoming a lot of the adversity that he's faced throughout his life and career. And I'm just freaking glad that he's the San Francisco 49ers quarterback. And everybody could try to throw dirt on him or bring him down, just not on my watch. You know why? Because he's my quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it comes down to. And I think we need to defend him and lift him up more. I'm not saying we got to put these guys on pedestals or whatever, but if we're 49er fans and we're critiquing our guys, that's one thing. If they're not a 49er fan, if they're talking heads, if they're this, they're not even watching the game. They're watching the numbers. They're watching the stats. They can shut up. Our responsibility as content creators is to uplift our guys while giving them some areas where they can improve. You know what I'm saying? And you hear Brock Purdy speak. He talks about where he can improve, what he wants to improve on. I'm thinking we're going to get some no-look passes this year. Last year, we got the shovel pass from Brock Purdy. Remember that touchdown? I think it was to Christian McCaffrey. It was beautiful, right? It was like, yo, I'm coming in with the lefty, too. Like, was whoo, you know what I'm saying? Hike with the right, shift it to the left, toss it to the left. Man, I'm losing all kind of stuff. Look, man, I'm liking Brock, you know? And he's going to continue to grow. And you know what I think we get this year? What I think we get that's different? Yeah. Yo, you peeped? Yo, I was trying to tell cats. Yo, I get trashed a lot. I don't really give a. I mean, I do care, but it's like, dang, why you gotta trash me for my take? I mean, it's my take. I thought the pass was magical. Maybe I didn't use the word magical. Maybe I should have said it was Magic Johnson-esque. I didn't say it was one of the most elite passes. I did say he was elite for making the play. How did I know he was elite for being able to make that play? I mean, he had the defender literally crash it down. I can't remember the game. Crash it down on him. Was about to crack him in his face. And it was just a no look. Nah, son, you ain't getting his ball. And it was a dope catch. I don't even remember if it was a touchdown. I just thought it was dope. Check this out. This is happening. I don't know. I know people don't want to see it, but I can guarantee that Brock Purdy going to have 2 to 3 design quarterback runs in 2024. I know y'all want to fight me over that, but it is what it is. I guarantee there's going to be 2 to 3 quarterback design runs. Why? Because Kyle likes that stuff. And I think he realized that Brock, even though he's not the most physical dude, he feels comfortable because I think the trust is there. I really feel like the trust between Kyle Shanahan and Brock is about to get on a whole nother level. And that is key to the 49ers returning to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. It all comes down to trust. No matter what you say, if Kyle trusts you, then you have the ability to do what you need to do to get that win. I need Kyle Shanahan to trust Brock Purdy the same way Andy Reid trusts Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not comparing Brock to Patrick Mahomes. I'm asking for that type of trust. Brock hasn't done anything to not earn that trust. He hasn't. And ever since he came into the league, with the San Francisco 49ers, he's been winning game after game. Yeah, he got a few losses, but he's found ways to win. I need Kyle to say, bump it. Brock, here's my trust card. I just believe. I trust you. Now, I don't want you to just believe me. I want you to have faith in me. I want you to trust me. I think Brock has earned that trust, in my opinion. So I think we will see some of them joints. I think we get a couple of design runs. You know what I mean? I do. I don't even think they're around the goal line for you. I don't think they come there. I think they come on first down. I think the read option will be back. It's just my thing. Brock's got wheels. Steve Young probably don't be mad, but he's one of my favorite. He's my favorite quarterback. I'm just gonna say Steve Young. Joe Montana was the man, but it was something about Steve Young. You know what I liked about Steve Young? He had to play. He wasn't the best. He was athletic, but he wasn't the best QB, and he had to play with like this chip on his shoulder, right? Until he became that starter. And remember when we won that Super Bowl, he had to take the monkey, he had to get the monkey off his back, all that crap. Steve Young was just playing against the world. I just felt like, I think that's what that's what drew me to him. That's why I love Trey Lance so much, because everybody was down on him. That's why I love Brock Purdy so much, because everybody's still down on him. All he does is know how to win games, and he's still not that dude. Like, it's crazy, right? He's that dude. Now, Steve Young came out the other day on KMBR, William and Murphy, right? And he said something that, usually I try not to take heed to what the former quarterbacks say, because sometimes it could be hate. Red Jet Shell, member for 6 months. Been rocking for 6 months with the crew. Y'all, appreciate you. You get them horns, them air horns. He said, and let me see if I got the clips so I could play it for you. I know I posted it as a reel, but let me make sure I got the clip. And here, hold on.
Processing power is a superpower. There are a few guys that I've seen through the years that can process like he does and can manage it, and then also is you saw the Super Bowl. It was like, yeah, in a way it was another game. It's just the way how their psyche deals with adrenaline. And some people's adrenaline, 99% of the world are humans. When adrenaline comes, your heart rate goes up, your mind shrinks, and you become kind of fight or flight. There are some people where the adrenaline comes, the moment gets big, and they kind of like heartbeat goes down, and it's just an odd. And those are the guys that play great football and quarterbacks, because that's not a defensive end. That's different. Not a corner, not a linebacker, not a running back, but a quarterback. That is the thing that differentiates the great players, and so he has that.
So Steve Young, a legend, Hall of Fame quarterback, 49ers, Super Bowl champion, you name it, came out and said that Brock Purdy's processing is elite. Now, I don't know what makes up an elite quarterback. I don't know if you got to have the athleticism plus the processing plus whatever. And I know the athleticism isn't your typical type of quarterback, because he's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, right? But he's pretty damn athletic. So and I came out and I said that he was an elite quarterback. This is what I'm talking about. But I don't know if y'all believe it a little bit more now that Steve Young has said it, because I feel like Steve Young has, he's valid. I'm not valid like Steve Young. I'm not a Super Bowl champion. I didn't play quarterback in my life. But what I like was the simple fact that he talked about his processing, and he said how it was elite. And he said not too many quarterbacks can do or treat the game the way Brock Purdy does. He basically said Brock Purdy didn't play terrible. He didn't play bad at all in the Super Bowl. He got his team in the opportune position to score. They did. They got a field goal, and then they just didn't win the game. And so I think those are big words, I think, from Steve Young, coming from Steve. That's a big endorsement, in my opinion. Let me know what you think about Steve Young's comment when you guys get a chance after the show, whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's pretty cool. Let's talk about Ricky Pearsall at the FLPA/NFL rookie premiere. This is when all those first round picks get together and they get to take their pictures and their 49er uniforms and all that good stuff. And Ricky Pearsall was there in living color, looking smooth. Looking smooth. White boy Rick looked kind of smooth, man. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lean On Me, but it is what it is. If you're not, then go watch the movie. But y'all call him Slick Rick. I know a lot of people are pissed that he's got a nickname. What do y'all think about that? Like, are you guys angry or upset about giving nicknames to rookies? And I know we've had, I felt like nicknames have to be earned. What was Jair Brown's nickname was Tig, and they, whatever. 49er Media says we can't call him that. He don't like it. He doesn't like Slick Rick. Really? I didn't know that. I didn't get that memo. But hey, if you're upset with it, I wouldn't be too upset. I mean, he was given the name by a former receiver, in my opinion. And if you go back and watch some of the college highlights and stuff like that, you'll hear them announce him as Slick Rick or whatever, because he's kind of slick running his routes. He's kind of slick running his routes. I want to get y'all takes on it. So post your takes. Oscar says, if the sports world gave LeBron, come on, man. We can't call LeBron LeBum. We can't call him LeBum, right? Like, that's, you, even if you don't like him, you can't call him LeBum, right? Because that's kind of rough. But he was King James coming into the league, so anyone can have a nickname. They called the GOAT Fifi. I never knew that. I never knew that. What the hell is Fifi? Can somebody explain to me what Fifi is? Please don't make me look it up. What was that? You know what I mean? I'm about to say Lur Fifi. The Fifi. What was that? Come on, man. Don't call him a bum. He's not a bum. Dang. Y'all got to put some respect on Bron's name, bro. Nobody should hate LeBron more than me, unless you're a Laker fan. But at least he got y'all a chip. He got y'all a chip. Which y'all motherfuckers, y'all complaining on him getting you a chip? He ain't stop y'all from getting a chip. Maybe his injuries, he got a little older. No, they didn't, Colin. No, he had a perm. Jerry Rice had a perm. Did he have a Jerry curl or did he have a perm? I don't know. But I don't think he's a bum. Bubble chip or not, man. Listen, the Lakers didn't ask to play in the damn bubble, and they found a way to win that chip by any means necessary. A chip is a chip. A chip is a chip. You know what I mean? Chip is a chip. Listen, let the 49ers win the Super Bowl. I don't give a care how they win it. The chip is the chip. Don't give me no context. Don't tell me it was COVID. Don't tell me it was COVID after COVID. I don't care. I just want us to win. Chip is a chip. That's how I look at the chip. I gotta figure out how now the chip counts. The chip counts. Don't be like that. The chip counts. What's going on, Daryl? The chip counts. My brother Daryl, CT in the building. What's good? Appreciate you. Oh, y'all gotta put that. Y'all mean. Y'all some mean people, man. I thought it was all love. I just want to know if it was because of his hair. That's why they called him Fifi. I don't know how I would feel about that. I'm curious to know why we called him Fifi. Had I known that when I talked to Jerry, I would ask him, dude, why they call you Fifi? I gotta get to see Jerry Rice again this year. Then I'm gonna ask him that question. Somebody remind me. I'm gonna ask him that question. Why they call him Fifi? Anyway. Ricky Pearsall looks pretty darn good in his uni. And I'm excited to see how he's going to be utilized this year. And I'm hoping, cheers to Ricky Pearsall and all the other 49er players out there, to a good beginning to their career, especially if they're new. Don't forget, today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard, 3:30 p.m., Eastern Standard Time, on the B.A.M show. It's going to be a little half hour early today. Mike and I are going to be talking about the NFC West, the new NFC West. We're going to be talking about some of the new players that, year one, year two, are going to be dominant throughout the NFC West and how it may affect the 49ers. So it's going to be a really good episode today. Do not miss that. And I'll remind you again before the episode is over. Again, I see some questions coming in, and I appreciate that. I will definitely get to the questions for sure toward the end of the show. So thank you. But yeah, so Ricky Pearsall looks good in his uni. All right, we got one more thing. I want to talk about my man Mooney Ward. Is on the Up and Adams show this morning. Got a couple of clips I wanted to play from him and see if we can get these on and popping. On and popping. All right, trying to share my screen as we speak. Don't mind me. A little different, little window. All right, y'all got to tell me once I share the screen if the volume works. You know how we do. This is always something. So we gonna have to try to figure this out as we play. All right, here we go.
OTAs, all that's going on. They start today. Are you full go? Or are we still rehabbing?
I'm still rehabbing. So I'm trying to get back up to running full speed and everything. Like you saw me in that pick 6 clip, but I feel good. Body feel way better than it did a couple months ago. Even at the end of last season, I was hurting pretty bad. Like my back, growing the abdomen was hurting me pretty bad. But I fought through it. I pushed through it. So I'm almost at 100%. I'll be ready for training camp for sure.
So mandatory camp, Mooney Ward gonna be ready for show. I gotta get Mooney on the show. Like I will say, there are some 49er players out there that are real ones, and they know what that means. But I gotta get in contact with him. I just love the way he talks. And I would love to pick his mind. But Mooney Ward, Up and Adams, shout out to Kay Adams, doing a good job on her show too, by the way. I just want to give her and her team a round of applause. So that means he's currently not going to be at OTAs, but he will be ready for training camp for sure. Shout out to my brother Terradome's in the building, volume 5x5. I love that. I just never know. I'm trying to get so much better at this whole technical crap, and every time I try to be on point. I try to learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistake twice. All right, that was the first clip. Let's see if we can get to the second clip. About him going back out on the field in overtime in the Super Bowl. Let's see what he had to say about that. Oops, and now this one I need to unmute, right? Because that's what I need to do.
But you got to think about it, though, Miss Kate. Like, at the end
now, you could tell he from the South. Dirty South, too. Not from the accent, just from, what do you call it? That's not hospitality. He called her Ms. K. Like, that's so much respect. I don't know where these gentlemen are today, but it's Ms., Mr., Miss if you're single. You know what I mean? Like that, Mooney. And give my man a round of applause. Shout out to Mom Dukes, the family. That's how you do it. That you respect the women, period. Because there's some guys out there that just don't respect women. They beating up on women. Like, what is going on? And then they want to apologize for it because it won't affect them in court.
Bullshit.
I'm not going to talk about it. Not on my episode.
Bullshit.
Not going to talk about that on my episode. Not on this episode. That's exclusive content. That's exclusive content. But anyway, shout out to Mooney Ward. Back to what he was saying. I didn't mean to cut him off.
In the fourth quarter, the defense was on the field for a very long time.
Yes.
So if we would have went right back out there, it probably could have been like the same result. You know what I mean? So hindsight is always 20/20.
So were you too tired to go out there? Being hurt as you were on adrenaline, you wouldn't have brought it to a tent. Come on, what are you saying? Y'all couldn't have sealed it? What are you talking about?
We lost. I would have been ready. If we had watched the show.
Yo, that smile. That smile left so quick. because I don't think he processed it as quick. Like, you know what I mean? Oh, I'd have been ready. Like, you know, first he was smiling. You know what I mean? And then when it hit him, when the question hit him, he was like, tired my ass. I'd have been ready. You know what I mean? That's my dog, yo. Playing on the last year of his contract. I know how football works. I get it. But the Niners, man, I know they can't pay everybody, but dang, what like we went from Richard Sherman to Charvarius. It's Lil Mooney Ward. Different type of DB. Both locks, in my opinion. We got Sherman at the end of his career, who I thought was just phenomenal, but then the injuries picked up. We get Mooney Ward kind of like in the prime of his career. Wasn't big on interceptions, but was big on PBUs. Kind of taught some of these young players technique. You know, it's not about getting the ball. It's about making sure the wide receiver don't catch the ball. So even if they get the catch, you finish it, follow. It's like the follow throughs, like you follow through, make sure that ball is incomplete at the end of the day. That's Mooney Ward, man. Mooney Ward said, I'd have been ready. That was funny to me. That was funny. My brother Corey says, Breezy, will they resign Mooney Ward? See, that's the question. I can't answer that question. I'm gonna give you an answer. But the way that the salary cap bank account is set up, and they're gonna have to borrow from other players to pay players, I don't know. I don't even want to have this conversation. I hope the Niners prove me wrong and find a way to extend them, but that's going to be interesting, because if they do extend Mooney Ward, then do you do both DBs? And if you do both DBs, why'd you draft the DB? And so I'm confused at this point. The way that they bank accounts set up to where they got to borrow player money, they got to restructure this player. At some point, they got to cut the restructurings out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point. And here's what I'm hoping. This is what I'm hoping. Okay? Hear me out. Don't say that. Please don't say that. Don't say it. Don't say he ain't going now. Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that Mooney, it's Lil Mooney. That's what he wants to be called. He wants to be called Mooney. I try to respect the players. I know he's named Charvarius, so for those that are not familiar, I want you to know this is his name, but he wants to be called Mooney. If Mooney balls out and has an all-pro season, he's good as gone. I'm cool with that. I think at that point the Niners just be like, we can't afford you anymore. So Mooney, get me about 6-7 interceptions, bro. And that way I can follow you to wherever you go and still support you. Unless you go to Seattle, back to the Cowboys, then your ass is trash. But if you go to a different team, your brother Breezie and the crew will support you. But right now, come back healthy, dog. Come back strong. Shout out to you for rocking on Up and Adam's show. It's a good look. It's good to hear from you again, and I'm glad that you're returning back to full strength and getting your health back. One more time for my boy Mooney Ward, baby. All right, man. It's time to get down to the main event because, you know, let's get ready to rumble. Now, listen, let me be the first to say that Brandon Aiyuk and the San Francisco 49ers are right on schedule, okay? They're right on schedule, okay? The holdout is right on time. This deal probably doesn't get done like my brother Steven said at the beginning of the show till about August. Might go a little later. Can somebody tell me when Nick Bosa signed? No, it was late. I'm just curious. I know, and give me Nick Bosa and give me Debo. Can somebody get that info for me right away? What month did they sign their contracts? And that's all I'm asking. You ain't got to give me numbers. I just need to know the month. But shout out to my brother Brandon because he was out there posting living his best life too. And his best life was on a big ass ranch. His acres. Now I don't know if that was if that, you know, you got money in the bank meaning you got credit coming. You know what I'm saying? You go out. Now, I don't know if that was he had. I don't know. I know Brandon and the family is good. Like, they're good. He's blessed. He's blessed because he got trucks with full tanks of gas. Now, I don't live in California. I don't know how much gas is per gallon in California. I know how much gas is per gallon in Connecticut, and that shit is too damn high. It's just ridiculous. I'm $3.60, $3.70, $3.80, $4. What is going on here, government or whoever? This is too expensive. So I'm sure if gas is high here, it is $5.55. I couldn't do it. All right, so I got the dates. I got the actual dates. Shout out to everybody out there that helped me out with that. Nick Bosa was September 6th, and Debo was July 31st. This deal's getting done in August. I can tell you that right now. It's getting done in August. First of all, it ain't happening before the Debo deal. Why? Because I think this contract's going to be worth more money than that. And I don't think Brandon Aiyuk is going to wait till September, because he's not going to get that mega type of contract like a Nick Bosa. The position doesn't allow it to. So it's not that listen, if the Niners had the money to pay all their players top dollar, they would. They would. Now, there are some crazy factors into the Brandon Aiyuk situation, right? There's still receivers that aren't paid yet that are looking for contract extensions that may just get the contract extensions, and the numbers are going to continue to go up, and the Niners are going to be like, we don't really give a this is what we're going to pay. Now, Aiyuk and his team and the Niners and their team, Parag, they gotta find a way to come to, you know what I'm saying, some type of an agreement. Like, that's what it takes. First of all, here's the only thing that's making me a little bit nervous. The only thing that's making me a little bit nervous is the communication. And I don't know if they're communicating or not. That's not being told to us, but I'm praying that they at least communicate. Now, I'm sure if John Lynch speaks, he will kind of infer that the communication is going on. But per the reports that we're reading, there ain't no communication. And it's at a stall. All right? Aiyuk is one way, and the Niners are another way. Now, this is normal. And if you're a 49er fan, you understand this. If you're not a 49er fan, this is the way that the Niners roll. This is normal. And I'm trying to help normalize it without anybody panicking about Brandon Aiyuk not getting fully extended prior to the season. But here's some of the things that can possibly or potentially happen if Brandon Aiyuk isn't extended before the season starts. Okay? Now, if you guys remember, Brandon Aiyuk is on contract for his 5th-year option for $14.1 million. So he's going to get paid that cash money for 1 year, 14.1. Hey, it is what it is. As far as guarantees and security, that's a whole nother conversation, and that's why he's looking to get extended, right? Let's do the extension now, right? And so it would be in the Niners' best interest, if they believe they want to keep him, to extend him. Now, it's going to cost the Niners some bread. It won't cost Niners bread this year per the salary cap, but you get 2-3 years down the line, them numbers that they saved in the first couple of years on the salary cap going to kick in. And the Niners are hoping some contracts will expire, and that's how they work. That's how they operate. It's called backloading. They are pretty damn good at it. And I'm surprised the rest of the league isn't doing it. I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be doing a lot of backloading and things like that, but that's what the Niners like to do, right? They like to do that. So my concern, my number one concern is this, and for my brother Brandon, for BA, once mandatory minicamp kicks in June, he will start losing money. So the mandatory practices, Like, that's mini camp. When training camp happens in what, July, he'll start losing money. I don't know the number per day, but that's how it worked. Now, he only making $14.1 million. So if it's 20,000 a day, I feel like the number is dumbass high. And then per the NFLPA CBA, the Niners aren't allowed to allowed to pay him that money. Like, he has to get fined per day he doesn't report. But I feel like everybody still gets paid because Brandon Aiyuk is gonna like 20,000 a day per time, like, and I'm gonna get a mega $1 million contract. I mean, like, yeah, fuck after $20, you can have it's like $20. You can have it. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, what the freak is $20? So at the end of the day, you know, it does hit him in his pocket, but I'm sure in the long run he won't be complaining. So my only concern with Brandon Aiyuk, if he does choose to hold out, is and you guys talked about it earlier in the chat, you know, oh shoot, oh gosh, that's a lot of money. No, they did not waive the fees for Bosa. He was charged, he was fined. No, they did waive the fees for Bosa, I believe. Will they do that for Brandon Aiyuk? I don't know. But here we go. $16,459 for the first day, $32,920. So it goes up. It goes up. It goes up. Good God. So yeah, if I'm B.A., I'm only making 14.1 mil. And you know, now the Niners have all the control. They have all the power. They have all the leverage in this situation. Here's the thing though. The key word for me in this situation is going to be, you know, just him building, just being in that wide receiver room, being the veteran in the room, building the chemistry, building the cohesiveness. I think Brandon Aiyuk is a great receiver, but I thought Nick Bosa was great, and I don't think Nick Bosa played great last year, and according to him, he didn't. And I don't know if that's because he wasn't in the building when training camp was there and all that type of stuff. I don't know. But you have to think that was the issue, right? Like that had to be it. It had to be the fact that Bosa just wasn't around. He wasn't around the players. He couldn't build the continuity. Maybe him missing is the reason why the defensive line struggled and couldn't understand the concepts of what Steve Wilks was trying to ask for. And it's not taken away from Bosa saying he wasn't a great player, but, you know, being in that building during the beginning is critical to everybody, right? Because Nick Bosa not being there doesn't just affect him, it affects the team, right? It affects how well the defense plays, how well the offense plays. It's crazy. Like, he's that big, he's that much of an impact player. I think Brandon Aiyuk is an impact player. It's not about him just being a dope wide receiver. It's about him being an impact and forcing the defenses to play differently because he's out there on the football field. And so if he's not out there practicing with his guys and continuing to build the continuity with a quarterback that's coming into the game fully healthy. We talk about Brock Purdy being fully healthy. Like, fully healthy. His arm might have got stronger. He might throw the ball faster. Timing is everything as a wide receiver. And I'm not saying he can't adjust, but we all know there's a difference between training with the team at the facility and training on your own. Big difference. Huge difference. Don't know why. It just is what it is. It's the way it's written in the cards. And I'm not saying Brandon Aiyuk is going to hold out. I'm saying if he does hold out, could this potentially affect the team, like, in a negative connotation? Like, I want to get y'all thoughts on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I literally want to get y'all thoughts on that. Like, could he, and for those that are watching the show after, could this affect the 49ers offense? Now, and I know the Niners got offense, but I'm sorry, Ricky Pearsall, you ain't Brandon Aiyuk. I'm sorry, Jacob Cowing, you not Brandon Aiyuk. Jawan Jennings is Brandon Aiyuk, and you know who else is Brandon Aiyuk? Deebo Samuel isn't Brandon Aiyuk. None of them are Brandon Aiyuk. And now I ain't even gonna mention all the other wide receivers that ain't gonna make this team. Like, none of them are BA. And I'm not putting BA on a pedestal. But bro, he affects the game so different for Kyle Shanahan. And it's just like, how do you defend him? You can't single him up because he's going to beat man coverage. You can't play soft defense on him because he's going to catch it underneath and then catch the ball and slant out and make you miss and get yak yards. You can't play press coverage because he's too quick out of his release to where he gets off and gets open. I'm not saying he wins every rep like that in man-to-man coverage if you're pressing up on him, but the majority of them, he wins. He's a top receiver in the league. Let's not act like that. And the only reason why he's not the number one receiver in the league is he's not the number one option. Man. And I feel like this is a valid question to ask for the simple fact that I watched an injured Jay Jettis not be good last year. I watched Jamar Chase not be good. And it's not because they held out or whatever. They just weren't the same. You know what I mean? When they returned to football, they just weren't the same. So now, sorry, different scenario. I'm curious to know how y'all feel about that. So if you're watching the show, let me know in the comment section. I promise I'll reply to the comments. All right. And let me know. All right, let's get to some of these questions. Mark says, Breezie, I believe to my heart, Bosa needed surgery after that Philly title loss. He was bleeding from his leg. Bro, I believe you. I believe that these players are literally like in the military, but it's NFL. Like I believe that they're in combat week in and week out, and half the injuries they don't report. So I believe when you get down to that game, everybody injured. Like literally, everybody's injured. Attrition has fully set in. Everybody's beat up. So that's a good comment for sure. My man Oscar had a comment. He says, not too concerned about our vets getting reps during the preseason. More important, he's talking about preseason football, that all the youngsters or new players get reps like Pearsall accounting. So let me, okay, that's dope. So let me ask this question. BA doesn't show up. BA holds out. BA takes the penalties. BA does that. BA doesn't. How is BA helping these young guys? Is it his role? Is it his responsibility to be there to help out the young guys? Was he helped during, whatever? And listen, I'm not. It's a contract season, so I understand what's going on. I'm not. BA isn't doing anything wrong, but how can he do both and be satisfied? You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't hold out because the Niners are playing the game, then he's not going to be taken seriously. If he does go in the 10, it's like he's giving in. And so, like, which one? Like, it's tough for BA. It's really tough for BA. So that's why, like, myself, I'm very optimistic when it comes to how players get their money, because I believe, every player is that puts in that effort, that puts in the hard work, and is consistent with it, deserves the bag, right? But I'm curious to know, like, does this affect Pearsall or Cowing, or does this give them an opportunity to be seen, or does it do both? You know what I mean? Does it do both? I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know. Does it do both? Does it affect him? Does it affect the team? These young guys, because just because you were great at wide receiver in college doesn't mean it works in the NFL. Dante Pettis, ring a bell, anybody? I'm just curious to know if y'all remember that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Ben says, wait, didn't Bosa hold out? Oh, yeah. September 6th, September 8th, 9th, whatever. Either way, it was late. It was late as And like at the end of the day, it was super duper late. Like, you know what I mean? Super duper late. All right. So, hey, we'll see what happens, man. Ben says a little bit off subject though. But are you joining a fantasy football league? What about the chat? So I do a nitty gritty Niners league. It's a pay league. And I'm only going to have 12 slots, and I will open it up to those that are going to return from last year, and whatever slots are available will be opened up to the public. Last year, our winner was Nick, my brother Nick from Jersey. Shout out to Nick. He won. I think I came in second. So it was a great league. Great times. I was mad I lost. Freaking injuries. In fantasy football, guys, man, if you play it, get yourself in a good league, maybe 2, and call it a day. If not, you are going to give yourself headaches week in and week out. Big Daddy Niners says, Breezy, I have a question for you. I have a 49 gold wine bottle sitting on my ottoman, or actually sitting on the top of the fireplace right now. My wife wants to open it, but I keep telling her I can't. So are you asking me, should you open the bottle? Because it sounds like you're waiting. 1949. How about okay. I'm no relationship expert, but I feel like I could dibble-dabble a little something with my training, right? How about you do this? How about you sit down with the missus with a different bottle of wine? Doesn't have to be that vintage, but something that's going to be good for both of y'all, right? And you say, how about this? Baby pumpkin poo, if we win the Super Bowl, we will crack open this 1949 bottle of wine and celebrate. You and I will celebrate. How about you and see what she says? You know what I'm saying? Look, she might not go for that, but see what she says, man. 1949. That has to happen. Like, not even your anniversary. And I don't mean it in a bad way. But this is a sacred bottle, and I think it needs to be opened at a sacred time, like the 49ers actually winning the Super Bowl. That would be a good thing, in my opinion. You could listen. Let me know what she says, though, on the next show. I'm curious to know with the response. If you get slapped, you won't get slapped if you show up with a different bottle of wine that's still good, though. That's why I say make sure you get the other bottle. Niner Cali Boy, what's going on? He says, Breezy, do you think B.A. Not signed and Pearsall not signed have any relation? It's a great question. I don't think they have any relation. I think the Pearsall's the only rookie that hasn't signed their deal. It's a great question. He's the only rookie that hasn't signed their deal yet, but I think it has to do with this 5th-year option and the number and the language in the 5th-year option. I don't remember, and he was also drafted. Like, I don't remember the language from Brandon Aiyuk's contract, but they had 2 first-round picks that year, and I don't remember when they signed their deals. But I remember Nick Bosa's contract, and I remember it took him forever to sign his rookie deal. And I think it comes down to the language and the number of the 5th-year option. I think that's important. And when I say language, I'm talking about like the guarantees, the workout bonuses, all that type of stuff. Like how does it favor the player? And I think that's what that's what makes it so difficult to sign, in my opinion, that first round player, especially when you're on a team that's stacked. I think it makes it a little bit more difficult. That's a great question, though, by the way. Great question. You know what I'm saying? Just reading some of these comments. Y'all suck. The average selling price for a vintage 1949 wine at First Dibs is $1,191, while they're typically $75 on the low end. What the hell? $29K?
Bullshit?
Yes, sir.
Bullshit.
I'm not drinking nothing that costs $29,000. No. But like I said, I would, you know what I'm saying. I would do that. I gotta send some love to my brother Callie. He's a Patreon member, man. Patreon, appreciate you too. He says, Wayne, how bad do you think your boy Debo was hurt in the Super Bowl? Yeah, he was hurt all season. Cause I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't even know Mooney Ward was hurt. I missed it. I didn't even know he was struggling. I mean, I knew he was hurt, but I didn't know it was affecting him. Like, these injuries, and he was struggling with injuries all year too. I'm telling you, man. Like, listen, you know what? We got to give every NFL player a hand clap because they battle physically and mentally week in and week out. And remember, I keep telling you, the words from Ed McCaffrey, former 49ers Super Bowl champion with the Denver Broncos and father of our beloved Christian McCaffrey, right? He said, listen, if you can play hurt, you play hurt. If you're injured, then it'll hurt the team. So I don't know how hurt some of these players were or how injured some of these players were, but I think Debo was pretty banged up, and we knew that. He missed several games, but he tried. I think Trent Williams was pretty banged up, but he played as well. And so it's part of football, you know. It doesn't help to have 2 Thursday night football games, but it's crazy because I want more 49er football on prime time, and they decided to give us 2 Thursday night football games again, which means that's 2 times where they're going to be playing on short weeks. And then they get longer days off after the game, but that's 2 games where they're coming off of a Sunday game, which is the game you're hoping they win this Sunday to play Thursday, right? You got Seattle, and then I forget the other team they play on Thursday night right off the top of my head. It's probably right here on my computer. Oh, the Rams. I guess Seattle and the Rams. So, yeah, 2, and they're divisional games, too. The league ain't slick. The league ain't slick. I'm telling you, the league ain't slick. One at home, one's on the road. So, yeah, man, look, I think Brandon Aiyuk, I think the holdout's going to be real. The question is for how long? And every year we panic, right? Look, I'm not telling you not to panic. Every year I'm gonna panic. You know how much I want Brandon Aiyuk to remain a 49er? This team is great. This team is literally a play away from like winning a Super Bowl. I just feel like if they just would have found a way to continue to run the ball somehow, some way. Creative run, any type of way of managing the clock to keep Patrick Mahomes off the football field, they win this game. With all the adversity, with all the turnovers, right? They lose twice to the same team that they had up by 10 with like 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. That's the most unrealistic crap I've ever heard in my entire life. Whew. My brother Master Chef. Why do a lot of these guys that get bags, they don't perform like they did before they got the bag? Yeah, that's a great question too, man. Because I think the key word is security. I don't even think it's money. I think it's security. It's like, you ever worked at a job? I'm going to be applying for a new job, but this is what I do. You ever work at a job and you just needed to get through the probation period before you could take your days off and get your full money and all that type of stuff? I just think that's how it be, man. These players, you know, when they're coming out off their rookie contracts, you know what I'm saying? They'll play beat up. They'll play injured. They'll play, ain't nothing wrong with me, coach. Got a broken kneecap. No, I'm good. You know what I mean? They'll do whatever they got to. They secure the bag, and then it's like, they thinking retro, man. Yo, I gotta get the surgery. I gotta do this. I need time. I need a day off. I need this. I need that. Listen, man, these players we just talked about health, and it's crucial. So, You know, Brandon Aiyuk has had some minor injuries with the 49ers. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a week or 3 off once the contract is secure, because it's once my contract is secure, man, you kind of go out and do. It doesn't mean his plays decline. Now, some players, their play declines. But I don't think that's basically on the player, right? I think that comes down to how they're utilized. I think that's a bigger story for me. I think I'm like, yo, man, Kyle, like, because Kyle Shanahan, you know, I'm gonna do an episode on is having too many weapons, too much firepower. Is that too much? Because in hindsight, you're like, yo, I got this weapon, I got this weapon, I got this weapon. Yeah, you do. But if you're not going to utilize it when something isn't working, and I don't know what goes into Kyle game plans. I'm not in his head. But sometimes, man, maybe less is best. So that way you can maximize off of who you have. But that don't mean I don't want the 49ers to add Brandon Aiyuk and keep him for the next 4 or 5 years. I'm not saying that. I'm not having that type of conversation. I promise you. But yeah. I want the players that were here last year, that blood, sweat, and teared 49er football, to earn a championship. And then what happens after that, I understand. Like, you know what I mean? And listen, don't be surprised, man. The Niners will backload a contract, and come them last years, when you guaranteed, you know, you set to get that max amount of money. If you ain't producing, if you ain't available, they have zero problems walking away from you. Ask my man, Eric. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning into the show. I appreciate you guys for being members of the channel. Please continue to support. I love you guys. Stay up. Make sure you support all the 49er content creators out there. There are a bunch of them in this chat as we speak. Show them some love. All you got to do is watch their show, hit the like button, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. That's what support is. It's not about super chats. It's not about that. It's just about you being there and watching the content. You never know how much that goes. It goes a hell of a long way. I'll be back at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the B.A.M show. That's Breezie and Mike show. We'll be back here. We're going to be talking about the new NFC West. It's some firepower out there, y'all. Y'all not going to miss that episode, because the Niners, they might be in trouble. They may be in a little trouble. Love y'all. Stay up. Stay faithful. Always keep it nitty gritty. We out. Time to sip that gold bar. Peace.
I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 4-9 preacher.